Don't let depression get the best of you. Food coach Cynthia Sass tells you how to get the nutrition you need when you just don't feel like eating. Coming up on the show, Cynthia Sass shows us how to get the nutrition we need when depression gets in the way of our appetite. Some people turn to food when under stress, but for others, depression can lead to the loss of appetite. According to the National Institutes of Health, depression affects at least 20 million Americans, and when it shuts off appetite, the side effects can have serious consequences. Here to share some tips about how to help yourself or a loved one is our resident food coach and registered dietitian, Cynthia Sass.
Hello.
Cynthia, great to see you.
Thank you, you too.
So you say you wanted to talk about this today because as a dietitian, you've had so many people ask you about this lately. Why do you think that is?
You know, with the economy being tough, I've had a lot of clients or colleagues, friends, family members who've lost their jobs. They're under incredible stress, and they've said, I just don't want to eat. I don't want to force myself to eat. I don't know what to do. Because in the beginning, no big deal if it's a few days, but when it starts to affect your immune system, you're getting sicker, you're having digestive problems, you're just feeling incredibly run down. You don't have the ability to concentrate and think clearly, which is so important in those situations because you need to keep perhaps looking for a job, or you need to really keep your energy up.
Absolutely.
So I've really created some tips to help people in that situation where they just don't have any desire to use food. It's
good that we're shedding some attention on this because I think so many people are familiar with the reverse, which is when people overeat due to stress. It's easy to forget that there are plenty of people out there who have the opposite response to stress.
Absolutely.
And they find it difficult to eat. So we're going to help those people and family members who want to help them out by letting them know. And the first tip you say is to condense your calories before cooking. How do we do that?
Well, you want to reach for things that have a lot of nutrition and calories in a very small amount because you really don't want to have to eat large quantities of food when you don't feel like eating. So you want to look for things like nuts and dried fruit. Just a golf ball sized portion of, let's say, something like almonds, cashews, and a golf ball sized portion of dried fruit that's unsweetened can have 400 calories. So that's something that doesn't take up a lot of space. You don't feel overly full because when you haven't been eating and your appetite reduces, your stomach does shrink down a little bit. So if you eat a large meal, it's going to feel even more uncomfortable.
Right.
But you get a lot of nutrition bang for the bite here. So it's about quality and calorie content at the same time. Something like oatmeal, you can just add hot water and then add again maybe something like raisins. Bananas are a great thing because they pack a lot of nutrition in a tiny package.
Right.
So those are things that you want to turn to for sure.
You want to look for small, but as you say, give a big bang for your bite.
Yes.
Now, you also say that it's okay to graze, and this is something that we're all told, don't snack between meals.
Right.
But if you're in one of these situations, it's okay.
Most of us can lose track of how much we're eating calorie-wise when we graze, but for people who are having a hard time getting enough nutrition in, I do recommend something like setting your cell phone alarm to go off to remind yourself to stop and eat, not letting more than 5 hours go by without eating or drinking something that has nutrient-rich calories, and maybe using things like meal replacement bars or energy bars that are all natural to give you, again, a lot of calories in a small amount, because for a lot of us, these bars are too much for a snack, but for people who aren't eating meals, these are essentially a meal replacement.
And are these things that are a little bit easier to go down? I mean, they're not so... You look at them and you think, all right, I can handle that.
Yes.
They're not so overwhelming.
You don't have to eat it all at the same time. Even if you take a few bites every 15 minutes or so, and you just remind yourself to not let too much time go by, you can get that nutrition in. Very,
very important. You also say, don't forget, an easy way of getting some calories is to just drink them. Drink your calories.
For most of us, plain water is the best way to stay hydrated and the best beverage for meals. But for people who have a hard time with their appetite, I would recommend adding some honey to your tea. Go with a soda that's been sweetened with 100% fruit juice instead of sugar, like something like this. This drink right here is actually a fruit and vegetable blend, so you can get in some vegetables and some fruits.
This one?
The one in the
okay, yeah.
And so, you know, those can pack several servings of fruits and vegetables in just a few gulps. So if you're having a hard time chewing and, you know, you really just don't want to feel full and you don't want to spend a lot of time eating, these are one of the best things that you can do when you're in that situation.
And some of them add protein. Would that make it almost a full meal?
Yes, and so a smoothie that's made with something like milk or soy milk or yogurt with a frozen banana and a few tablespoons of, let's say, almond butter or peanut butter is another way to go. Or a bottled drink that has protein added along with fruits and vegetables.
All right, excellent advice. And you also say don't forget that when you're at the grocery store, fill your shopping cart with a lot of ready-to-eat items. Make it easy on yourself.
If you have to prepare and chop and wash and peel, there's a pretty good chance you're going to go to bed without eating, or you're just going to skip that meal. So if you have things that are, again, nutrient rich, something all natural, maybe organic, like a frozen burrito or even a canned soup that's made with black beans or lentils, if all you have to do is open it up and heat it and eat it, you're a lot more likely to get in a meal instead of skipping that nutrition.
And so canned soups are great, things that you can throw in the microwave.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips on specifically what we should be looking for?
Look for something with a combination of protein and carbs,
okay,
because you need both. When you skip meals, basically nutrients that your body needs aren't showing up for work. And what happens is day after day after day, there's a snowball effect where you do really get run down, and it's going to affect your body from the inside out.
Absolutely. Cynthia Sass, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And for more great health and nutrition information, please visit the health page at abcnews.com.